How to assemble your flow bench. Start by setting aside your box away from your assembly table. You're going to need to keep your assembly area clean and clear. Start by grabbing the 2x6 wood blocks on top. Loosely arrange the pieces into a box, just like I have here. Go get a spare strap. This is going to make it easy to hold all the pieces in place while you screw it all together. Now grab your first white top piece. Set that on your wood form and begin lining everything up. You can see that this white piece has one white edge, and you're going to keep both of the pieces with that white edge on the same side. We're going to start by drilling the corners. We're going to mark 3/4 of an inch from both sides to find the center of the corner. I'm going to use this drill and countersink combo bit to pre-drill all the holes. I recommend putting in a screw into that first hole so it doesn't move around on you too much while you drill the other holes. Keep everything nice and aligned. For this top piece, I'm going to use mostly 2-inch screws. There are going to be a couple of exceptions, and I'll show you which screws those are here in a minute. Now we find the middle of this long side, and we're going to drill and put a screw right there. Now pre-drill, countersink, and install 2 screws. These screws are going to be shorter. Use the 1 1/4 screws in these sections. Now find the middle of the short sides, pre-drill, countersink, and install another 2-inch screw. Now flip it over and repeat these steps on the opposite side. Remember, the whiteboard has one single white edge. Keep both of those white edges on the same side. Mark each corner by measuring 3/4 of an inch from either side. Then pre-drill, countersink, and install 2-inch screws. After you found the center and pre-drilled the long sides, remember that these sides get the 1 1/4 short screw. Once you find the center and pre-drill and countersink the short sides, that side gets the long 2-inch screw. Now take off the strap and remove these back screws. We need to get access to this back piece so we can pre-drill all the vacuum hookup holes. Before we remove this piece, we're going to make a Sharpie mark so we can remember how it all goes back together. Now it's time to take this piece out. Now let's grab one of our vacuum hookup adapters. We're going to need that to lay out where we're going to cut holes. We find the bottom center of our back piece, and we're just going to eyeball where the vacuum adapter is going to go and use a Sharpie to trace the inner circle. You're going to need a hole saw arbor and this 2 1/4 inch hole saw. I had some scrap wood laying around, that way I could lift the wood off the top of my table. If you can't do that, just simply clamp this overhanging the table. Find the center of your circle, load your hole saw, and start drilling. After that first hole, I reposition my wood blocks so I can do the remaining 2. I measure out 5 inches from the center of the first hole, and that's where the next 2 are going to go. Exact same technique as before. Sketch a circle, find the center of the circle, drill the 2 holes. This next step is optional, but if you're going to do it, you need to flip the wood over. Pay attention to where your mark is. I'm going to use my router and a large chamfering bit to create a nice smooth entry for the hole and the vacuum. And now we can put this piece back in and begin the process of sealing it all up. Make sure to line up your marks as they were before. This is why we use the short screws in the middle of the long sections. Now find your tube of sealer. It should be underneath the indicator box. Now remove one lid and apply the sealer. You're going to do this equally for both sides. Be sure to put the screws back exactly where you found them. There will be a few gaps along the sides here. Just go over it with the sealer, it'll be fine. Because this is a vacuum box, it'll try to pull the sealant through the crack there, and the vacuum just simply won't be strong enough, so it should be very reliable. Time to grab your 2x4s. We're going to mark along the center of the 2x4 at 2.5 inches and 5 inches. Pre-drill and countersink, and then we're going to use our long 2.5 inch screws to attach these to the main vacuum box. I had to use another drill bit in order to pre-drill all the way through the 2x4. As long as your pre-drill is long enough, you may not have to do that. Now let's attach our vacuum adapters. These are pretty simple. You're just going to eyeball the alignment and use the 1 1/4 screws to hold them on. Now we have to attach our brass vacuum barb. We're going to use this 15-30 seconds drill here, and then we're going to drive the barb straight into the wood, and the barb will cut its own threads as it goes in. You can pre-drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit if you want, and then use a 9/16 ratchet to screw it all together. I'm going to start with this pre-drill. I'm doing it between these 2 vacuum adapters here because there's a screw to the right that I'm trying to avoid. And then I chamfer the hole to clean it up a little bit. The brass barb will start its own threads, nice and easy, and then we use the ratcheting wrench to drive it all the way in. Now spin it around and we'll start working on the rubber sealer. Grab your rubber mat from the box. Then what you're going to do is fold it over and mark the excess material that needs to be cut off. Using a razor blade, preferably a new sharp one, trim off the excess. Now center the rubber mat on your table and peel off the protective film. Get a hole saw that matches your cylinder head. I have one already, but you might need to buy this. Use a Sharpie to trace your hole saw. Now with a nice new blade, cut a circle out of your mat. Then, before you remove the mat, pre-drill the center. Now you got to use your hole saw. Go fast and be gentle with the pressure. You should be able to cut through just fine. Put the mat back on and get your cylinder head. You have to measure where the cylinder wall is relative to the outside edge of your cylinder head. This guide rail is used to help position your cylinder head. Screw it on with 1¼ inch screws. Now it's time to put the whiteboard on. There's two ways to attach it. You can hang it like I've done there, or my preferred way is to use the included screws. You're going to need some help while somebody holds up the whiteboard, and you shoot in the screws into the corners right here. Now you can attach your ruler. The easiest way to do it is to pull it tight and work from one end to the other. I went from left to right here and smoothed it out to make sure there was no air bubbles. Use these clips that you can find in your bag and the sight glass in order to attach the sight glass to the whiteboard. Double-sided tape is provided so that way you can stick everything onto the whiteboard. Apply the double-sided tape to your clips, position the clips correctly, and press it onto the whiteboard just above your ruler. Now slide your vacuum flow bench over to the edge of the table. We're going to do all the hoses now. On this 2x4 we're going to mark every 6 inches, and then on those marks we're going to drill screws. That way we can adjust the water height using these screws. So now we mark all of these screws. That way you can keep track of the level that you set every test to. Grab your hoses and start with the long hose. This hose is extra long so you can trim it as needed. Attach it to the bottom of your sight glass. Use the zip ties provided to create a loop. This loop is what's going to hang on the screw so you can set the level of the water. With your short piece of tubing, you connect that to the top, and the top just loops around the back side. We're going to attach it with a screw and a zip tie. Plug it into your barb. Any excess that's left can be hung up. You can cut it if you like to, but I like to just hang it up. Use one of the 2-inch screws and loop it over. And lastly, we need to do some support here. The water is going to weigh down the tube and it's going to pull on the sight glass. So by putting another screw and a zip tie there, we can support the weight. We're going to load it up with simple green. You can use water with food coloring, but I'm just using simple green because I already have it. You can see that I'm just putting it down into the bucket, attaching the vacuum, and we're going to let the vacuum pull the simple green up through the tube. Be patient here. You don't want it to overflow and go all the way into your vacuum box. And that's it. You can see that as I move the tubing up and down on the screws, it changes the water level. Now set up your indicator, attach it to your metal strip, and get it on your valve. I have special springs for my cylinder head and you'll need to get those. And I made this special compressor that's specifically for compressing my valves on my cylinder head. You will need to make one of these for yourself. Now we're going to set this to 0. So as we compress the spring, the indicator reads the amount that we are compressing from 0. Now I'm going to set this to 100 thousandths open, and we're going to turn on the vacuum. Let the water stabilize, and there you go. One vacuum pulls that much inches of water. Now I'm going to hook up a second vacuum, do the exact same test at the exact same opening. And wow, look at that. Let me get a marker. That's where we were before, and that's where we are now. And that's why I gave you 3 vacuum hookups. So that's enough to get you started. You start messing around with your ports or anything else you want to test and check your flow. So in the next episode, I'm going to work on this head, and I'm going to show you guys how I work through modifying each port and what kind of results you can get. Of course, the last step is putting it on the dyno, which I will do that for you guys. The important thing is that you have generation 1, and I need your guys' help working through the instructions, putting it together, and what kind of obstacles or problems you guys have. So the way to let me know that you've had a problem is to call, text, email, or leave a comment down below. I will be keeping an eye out for any form of communication from you guys, and we'll work it out together. And I look forward to talking to you guys more about how to use this and how to improve it.